All right, let's get rolling. My name is Julie-Ann Kirkland. I am one of the executive coaches here at the Women Leaders Association. I also am a speaker and an MC, so I love being able to come to these events and really empower and equip women to use their voice to really reach out and impact more people. I think we as women have such a gift in our voice, and perhaps you've noticed, like me, society can tend to want to put that down a little bit. Oh, you're too much. I'm like, oh, I'm never too much. Okay. So I am all for it. I think if you have that in you and you want to shine, girl, this is your place. So shine, girl, shine. I'm excited you're here. We want to thank our sponsors. We have Reap Equity in the back. Arlene back there, hey. And we also have PAI. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. Y'all be sure you take a look at their booths they have up. They have some incredible little giveaways, cute things, and such great messages. I can't wait for y'all to hear from them later today. But let's see. Oh, there they are on the slide. There I am. Boom. Okay, so I am going to introduce our first speaker. Her name is Joy, and Joy is a native of Chicago. She has spent a little over 22 years in the professional services industry. As a managing director in the International Tax and Transaction Services practice at Ernst & Young, she spends her time focusing on clients within the technology, retail, real estate, financial services, oil and gas, and all the things. She does all the things. Her other primary focus includes managing the day-to-day people operations of practice. Outside of the office, Joy enjoys giving back to the community. In the past, she has served as an officer and board member for the French Chamber of Commerce. She has also served in the role as a business technology advisor board member for Duncanville High School, as well as an accounting principles program implementation leader of Dunbar Elementary. When she's not working, she enjoys being a mother to her two wonderful children, Jana and Julian. Together, they enjoy hiking, golfing, traveling, and volunteering as a family, teaching Sunday school to many bouncing 4-year-old children. And let me just say, where'd she go? There she is. I'm going to bring her up in just a second. But the bouncing 4-year-old children, like so many props. I have 6 kids. And in that 6, I have a set of quadruplets. So that was 4 at one time. I know. I need a minute with that too. It's okay. It's okay. So mad respect for you, Joy, for choosing to do that. That's amazing. Joy, welcome up, and y'all take a look at her shoes because they're on point.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone. Let's see if we can adjust this a little bit. How many of you had to drive in this morning? I know, me too. I said, now it only took me about 35 minutes, but some people at my table, it took them an hour, and they're just holding on to that wheel saying, am I there yet? How many of you in your life or in your careers, you say, am I there yet? Me too. Me too. When I think about my years, my life, I consider myself pretty young. And I say I have time. A lot of people base their answer on, am I there yet, on their childhood dreams. How many of you are living out your childhood dream right now? Anybody? Okay, we have one. We have a few. When you're a child, you're running outside, digging up worms, swimming in the lake, playing in the pools. You're having a good time, and you come up with these grandiose ideas and say, this is what I want to be in life. No fears, none at all. And then you start moving through life, and your goals change. How many of you are living out your college plans? A few? Okay. So when I was planning to go to college in high school, I said, I want to be a doctor. Of course, I'm not a doctor at Ernst & Young, right? Doctor of the books. No, just kidding. But I got to my senior year of high school and I said, I hate science. How will I make it through all these classes if I hate science? And all those years, that's not it. So in my mind, I had to find something I enjoyed. I picked accounting. Now, I went to college for accounting. Now, I must say, I'm not in accounting as of books and records. I do international tax, so I've tweaked myself a little bit more since then. But I have stayed on track with that high school college plan. How many of you are following your parental expectations? Your mother said, I want you to be an attorney. I want you to be a banker. How many of you are following your parents' expectations? Right. There's some people that are following their parental expectations. And I will say, with your childhood dreams, your college plans, your parental expectations, sometimes it's not enough for you. Sometimes as you grow older, you come up with new ideas, new goals. But are you afraid to change them? Maya Rudolph once said, to have your childhood dream realized is a really big deal. You know why it's a really big deal? Because to come up with something that young and carry it out all through life and never, ever, ever want to change, that's huge. That is huge. And I would say most people in their lifetime, they do not stick with one thing for their entire life. So what do? We set goals. As we grow throughout life, we're taught set goals. In high school, you're taught set goals so you can pass your ACT, SAT tests. Set goals so that you can graduate from college. Set goals so you can get a good job. Set goals so that you can save money. Life is all about setting goals, right? Well, guess what? Sometimes people are afraid to create new goals. How many of you have created new goals in your entire life? Right, your entire life. Someone's come up with something that's new. Me too. I started out at Ernst & Young, and I have moved around. I have gone to other firms. I've come up with different ways to round myself out, give myself a little bit more fulfillment. I wanted to be a preschool teacher when I was a child. I loved playing with my little dolls. I had about 10 of them, and I would carry them and cart them around everywhere. But as I grew up, I said, that's not really what I want to be. However, what I do is I volunteer on the side. So I've learned to tweak different things about my life so that I have happiness in other areas. How many of you are finding happiness in other areas of your life outside of your career? Good. Because without it, guess what? We're just boring. Who wants to be boring, right? Everyone wants to have some sort of joy and fulfillment in their life. Lisa Leslie once said, my success has surpassed my childhood dreams. Now, when I was a child, I said, I thought about dollar amounts. I said, well, if I just make like 50 or 60,000, I'll be happy. I can tell you, I make a little bit more now that I'm an adult. Things have changed. I have my house. I just have my children. I have different things in life that are going on. And it's all about me reimagining myself, coming up with different ways to move throughout life. How many of you have reimagined yourself and were happy with your outcome? How many have reimagined yourself and you were a little disappointed sometimes? I'm going to raise my hand because guess what? I've hit some rocks where I say, I shouldn't have done that. That was not a good idea. But when I mentor others, I don't sanitize my story. Because when they reach out to me and ask for help or assistance, or they say, what should I do next? If I sanitize my story on where I've gone and how I've reimagined myself, I'm no use to them. They think everything is gold. They think that they can make it to the top we're just coasting and everything is happy, when that's not reality. When you reimagine yourself, you have to face the reality that sometimes you are going to have failures. And Joseph Campbell once said, we must be willing to let go of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. How many of you have hit that bump in the road? I have. It's hard to accept that point where you say, I was running fast, I was climbing that mountain, but all of a sudden I hit this block. What do I do? How do I escape it? That failure, that heartbreak, whether it's losing a job, getting a divorce, losing a friend, all of us have felt some sort of failure in our life. But how do you get beyond it? Guess what? You have to understand what got you there, right? What brought you to that point where you failed? And then you understand, what could I have done differently? And once you understand that piece, now you can move forward, because now it's not about, am I going to fail next time? Now it's about how quickly can you get up and try again? Because guess, you may win this time. You may actually win this time. And when you stand up, sometimes you have to elevate yourself. So it may be recreating your circle, retooling yourself for whatever industry you're in. Maybe it's learning things during your downtime. Maybe it's going back to school and picking up some additional trades that cater to your job. It's retooling yourself, reimagining yourself so that you can move forward. But if you let failure stop you, what happens? You just never move. You remained in your one set goal that you've created years and years ago. We were not put on this planet to just remain as one. We were meant to evolve over time. And the only way that you evolve over time is elevating yourself. Now, when you're elevating your growth, what must you do? Especially if you failed, you must forgive yourself. How many of you have faced a hard time where you say, I hit rock bottom, and I know it was because I made this wrong decision, and I don't know if I can move on because I'll probably make that same decision again? Or you say, I moved to this city and I brought my entire family here, but I don't even like this job. How many of you have changed jobs? And you were in a good situation, but you switched jobs, and let's say for more money. And you got there and you said, this is horrible. I really had it good. The grass was not greener on that other side. When those moments happen, what do you have to do? You have to forgive yourself. And I think we as humans forget to forgive ourselves. We just try to move on, try to walk down that road, and without forgiving ourselves. And honestly, when you do that, you have this barrier up with friendships, barrier up with meeting new people, barrier up with trying new things, barrier up with applying to new jobs. How many of you see that person sitting next to you, let's say pre-COVID, down the hall, and you say, well, John is applying for that job too. And I know John does X, Y, and Z really well. So I don't think I'm going to apply because John is applying. And I'm afraid that John may get that position over me because I worked on a project 4 months ago and I messed up. or I needed more guidance than John. And you don't apply. Guess what? Something may happen with that project. They may have seen you transform from beginning to end. And you may not be that same person that messed up on that one project. So if you would apply, you may get that job over John, but you'll never know if you don't apply. You'll never know if you don't try. And I think sometimes we as women, we put those roadblocks and barriers up because of our fear. We have not forgiven ourselves. And we just hold on to just between us. Now, hit those roadblocks, or when you're trying to elevate yourself, you have to think about your personal life too. You have going on in your personal life that is keeping you from moving forward, let's say in your professional life, if that's what you're trying to elevate. Are there certain things that you should tweak or maneuver so that you can move forward? Now, for me, when I'm in busy season, cooking, it's not happening. It is not my thing. I love to cook and I love to eat, but you may get 5 meals out of me in a month during my busy season because I can't focus on getting my client work done and cooking for my family. So what do? Sprouts, Central Market, Whole Foods, they all have great pre-prepared meals. Restaurants, they become my friends. And I'm not afraid to go to any of those lengths and say, let me just pick it up. And food is on the table just as well as if I had cooked it. I think women sometimes, we say, we must do it all. We must do it all. Peter Drucker said, do what you do best and outsource the rest. How many of us have issues with outsourcing? I know sometimes when I was going through my career, I said, I can do that. Why would I pay extra to do that? Why would I ask someone else to help? I can do that. Well, guess what? When you allow someone to step in and help you, then you can progress in other areas of your life. And it's the same thing with not just cooking. One situation happened over the summer. I had a whole week off of work, and I came up with this grand idea. My yard needed to be mulched. And I said, well, I can do it. I can do it. I said, I have an SUV. I'm going to Lowe's to get my own mulch. So I took myself on to Lowe's at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it was going to be 93 outside, but I said I can do it. I loaded up the car with as much mulch as I could take. And here I go, unloading it, spreading it out. I said, ooh, that only filled up a small portion of my yard. It took me 3 trips to Lowe's to do the entire yard. And guess what? My whole day was gone. And at the end of the day, it was a Friday, by the way. My kids said, oh, Mom, let's go to Top Golf. I had an attitude. I said, Top Golf. Did you see what I just did? You weren't at I was doing this. You want me to go to Top Golf with you and play games with you? No, I'm going to sit on this couch. Well, the same thing occurs at work. If you're doing so much in your personal life and on the side, you have to have that balance. And I could have said, let my lawn guys do it, but I was just being tough. I said I could do it. Same thing goes with, I want to paint my house. Now, old school way is you go to Lowe's or the paint store, pick out swatches, come and tape them up on the wall, and let me see which color looks best. How many of you paint your house that way? She said, no. Well, I'm here to tell you, I learned. My daughter is a digital designer. So what she did was she said, Mom, if you want to paint the house, let me help you. She took pictures of every room, loaded it into a program, and just start clicking buttons. Do you like this color? Do you like that color? Oh, we can take this to the store and find the color that matches this. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that existed. But that's not what I do best. I do international tax best. So when I stick to just doing what I do best and outsourcing the rest, my life is happier, my family is happier, my clients are happier, my coworkers are happier. I'm just a happier person altogether. Now, when I talk about my journey and I tell everyone about how I've made it to where I am today, and I say, am I there yet? Am I there yet? Are you there yet? I don't think I'll ever be there. I don't know if I'll be there at retirement, maybe at retirement. But I feel like at retirement, I'll come up with new goals, meaning my walk, go out for my walk for the day. Maybe I'll go play tennis maybe, or I don't know, just do nothing. That will be my goals for retirement. So I don't think that I'll ever be there. My goals will constantly change. And once we as women realize that the journey continues, it doesn't stop. Just because the person next to you has received this promotion doesn't mean that your journey is over. George Fisher said, when you aim for perfection, you discover it's a moving target. It's all a moving target. And so when you're going through hard times with work or your personal life, you say, I just don't know if I can do it. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. I think men, they give themselves a lot of grace. They are running down the street, pulling grace along. And here we are putting up boundaries and borders. Give yourself grace and know that no matter what you do, you can get there. But just know that your target is just going to constantly change. And allow your soul to rest. And what I mean by that is enjoy life, smile, go out and just be yourself. Because when you're yourself, everyone sees it shining through. And those promotions will come to you. Those personal relationships will come to you. All of those different things that keep propelling you forward would come when you're yourself. And the most important thing when you're on your climb is just to continue to reset yourself. If, again, we are not meant to stay in one place. Now, we may have stayed in our career that we came up with years ago, but I can guarantee you, your career has reset itself multiple times. You've come up with ways to specialize yourself, to make yourself grow, to make yourself more knowledgeable in those areas. So you are consistently resetting yourself. And when you do that, your climb will become easier, it'll become enjoyable, and you'll just love life. So enjoy your climb, and you will never get there, because am I there yet? You'll always be climbing, always reaching for your target. So good luck with reaching your target. And I tell you what, I'm enjoying my climb as I try to get there to my next point, whatever it may be. I'm just open for it. Thank you. I forgot, does anyone have any questions? Any questions? No? Oh, okay.
Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, you're using it. You're doing it. There you are.
Here we go. Whenever you've hit those like points in the road where you feel like you've been blocked, what are some good, like, what's your first steps that you take once you kind of like settle down and go, okay, this is maybe what I should do next?
Honestly, the very first thing I do is you have to do something that relaxes you. For me, it's taking a hot bath. Sometimes it's going for a good run. Sometimes I honestly do retail therapy. But I have to do something that calms my nerves, because if I don't calm myself first, everything that I think about is jumbled. So once I calm myself, then I lay out what happened, how I got there. And this is the part where you cannot sanitize your story. You have to be realistic with yourself. I think a lot of times we lie and say, that didn't happen. That didn't happen. No, you're talking to yourself here. You're trying to get yourself out of rut. Be honest. Don't sanitize it. Lay it all out and say, how did I get here? What do I think went wrong in this fact pattern? And once you do that, then you can start moving forward. And that's how I move myself forward. And sometimes, like if it's a project, if I had a rough go at a project, I may go talk to whoever the lead is for that project, and I say, this is where I struggled. Where do you think I could have done better? What tools do you think I need to build myself up so that next time I'm on this same sort of project, I will do well?
That's great advice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Oh, yeah, I'm coming. I'm in heels. I can't run.
So let me ask a question about how you got there. Do you have like a mentor that helped you get there, or have you done this work all by yourself, or is there a hybrid?
So I would say I do nothing alone. I am the youngest of 4 children. So my oldest sibling is 61. And between family members and the head of the county department at the school that I graduated from, I still talk to him at least like quarterly and update him on my life and what's going on in my challenges, or what I think may be a challenge, and he says that's not really a challenge. I've been with 3 of the big 4 firms, and so with each firm, I've picked up mentors, and I call them my board of directors. And if you don't have a board of directors that is guiding your life and leading you, it's very important. It's key, because they've been where I'm trying to go, and they have the best suggestions. But what I would say is, with your board of directors, you have to be honest. Don't sanitize. You have to tell them, this is where I'm struggling, so that they can help you. And just remember, one day you'll be someone else's board of director. So don't sanitize your story when you're helping them. But it's through my board of directors and all my mentors that I continue to climb, continue to have the strength to move forward. I do have it in me myself. I believe in myself. I constantly retool myself during my downtimes. So when opportunities present themselves, I know that I'm ready for them, and I know that I can propel myself forward and push forward. But the combination, the hybrid of those things, that's what keeps me moving forward. And I'm not afraid to fail. I would say when I take on opportunities, projects and so forth, I'm not afraid to say I don't know the answer, or I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to open a book and spend hours reading about the topic just so that I can retool myself. And I'm not afraid to try. And I think we as women, sometimes we are afraid to just try. And you'll realize that a lot of people within your corporation, within your personal life, they're watching you and they're rooting for you, but they're just waiting for you to have enough faith in yourself to step outside the box and move yourself forward. They can't make you do it. You have to do it for yourself.
That's good stuff. Thank you.
I love it. Any other questions? Oh, yeah, remind me.
How do you show your vulnerability at work?
At work.
Yeah, as you know, like last week, I had an absolute meltdown on one of my bosses, crying in the whole, it just happened, right? How do you show that as a woman, as a leader? Should you do that? Vulnerability at work.
I think it's key to do that. So I am over the people side of international tax. And so it's 43 people on our team. And I will say I have a lot of personal discussions with people about their life, not even just their career, but their life and where they're at in life. And there's a lot of tears being shed. And there's sometimes when people come to me and they say, I think I'm ready for this promotion, but what should I do? Or this is going on in my personal life. I have a sick parent. They're crying and I'm crying too, honestly, because sometimes when you show your emotions along with the person that's sitting across from you, they connect better. They learn to trust you. And I've realized, even working with men, when I show my vulnerable side, I think they have more faith in me because they realize I'm human. We as women, we sometimes feel like we have to bottle it up inside and be tough. And men are taught that they have to be tough. But when you allow them that moment where they don't have to be tough and they can really express themselves to you, that is a whole nother bond that you're building with them that is completely valuable. And I just go with the flow at work. However my emotions are taking me, I just go with it. And I express myself when I feel like I disagree with things. I let someone know. I do it in a tactful way, but I do let them know that I don't agree with this approach.
This is great. And, to your point of having the meltdown and all that, we're not just who we are at work, right? We are the combination of all the things. And we tend to, as women, silo ourselves. I'm going to show up this way at work because these are the rules of this role, right? I'm going to show up this way at home. I'm going to show up this way in my relationship. But the truth is, you are all of those things. And when you allow yourself to be expressed in all of those ways, that's when you really get to shine through. And when we're talking about perfection, it's gross. I mean, nobody is perfect. And we have to let go of that because it's progress that counts. Have you ever, just show of hands, have you ever met a perfect person that inspired you? No? What? Her mom. Okay, well, all right. Because the thing is, perfection, that's not what draws us to each other. It's our stories, it's our vulnerabilities, it's being willing to share those things. That's what gets you inspired, is like, oh my gosh, me too. I've struggled too. Look how far you've come. That's what's inspiring. That's what motivates people to keep going forward. Let's give Joy a hand. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.